It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I am Des Clark and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And joining me this week is stand-up and broadcaster Billy Kirkwood, and with him is best-selling crime writer Val McDermid. And facing off against them is impressionist and comedian Rory Bremner, and joining him is stand-up and writer Crystal Evans. In the news this week, a couple were left stunned after finding out they had been pronouncing their son's Irish name wrong his entire life. Their son's name is spelled O-I-S-O-N, which is meant to sound like O'Sheen, whereas they'd spent years pronouncing it Bobby. Due to a labour shortage, UK meat producers have started sending carcasses to the EU for butchering. This is based on a very similar policy that the UK uses for contestants in the Eurovision Song Contest. And a Greggs Bakery fanatic has got her tattooist friend to ink a vegan sausage roll onto her leg. I assume to make it extra authentic, she's also going to get a matching burn tattoo on the roof of her mouth. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. And this is our broken news round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Billy and Val, can you tell me our first story, please?
The First Minister had said Scotland was halfway towards
Russian President Vladimir Putin,
despite missing
the World Leaders Summit.
Nicola Sturgeon insisted the country was still ahead of
Presidents and Prime Ministers from 120 countries.
She added the real challenge was still Boris Johnson.
Val, any thoughts as to our first story?
I think it's to do with the COP26.
Well done. It is the news that COP26 kicked off earlier this week in Glasgow. Prime Minister Boris Johnson addressed world leaders and welcomed around 120 heads of state to the UN event, including US President Joe Biden. Opening the conference, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres declared, "We are digging our own graves," which surprised Glasgow City Council, who thought it was only the binmen who were on strike. So, Val, COP26, the world is watching Scotland. It's in full swing. What have been the highlights so far for you?
I've enjoyed the way that American journalists don't seem to know where they are. We've had at least two of them identifying Edinburgh as Glasgow. It's just quite amazing. But they're not the only ones that have got lost, you know. A walrus turned up this week on top of a submarine in Holland. I'm not making this up, you know. What? Miles away from its
I think that was about 3 Beatles songs in one. Rory, it's been amazing, hasn't it? COP26 in Glasgow. What are your thoughts so far?
Oh, my favourite was when Joe Biden fell asleep. That was the highlight, wasn't it? Great. I mean, honestly, if you need an image to show the full horror of climate change, it's the one where Biden wakes up and he's told he's in Glasgow.
Well, to be honest, I was feeling quite pessimistic before it started. But then the organisers managed to get Leonardo DiCaprio to Mary Hill. I thought, if they can do that, then solving the climate crisis should be a walk in the rainforest to the Scottish organisers.
There you go.
When do you think he's been more frightened, actually clinging to the wreck of the Titanic or walking around Mary Hill with a bodyguard?
I mean, some of the language has been quite positive, some of it's been quite negative. Greta Thunberg, when she turned up, straight away went, all politicians are liars, nothing will ever get done, this will be terrible, this will be horrible. She basically sounds like my dad before every night out with my mum in the 1990s. If she had literally put on the word, "and your sister will be there," it would be just like it.
I might be an optimist, but I'm very confident that a 12-day-long gathering of mostly privileged people who all flew in on separate private jets and have spent their whole lives learning how to be professionally charming are the perfect people to solve climate change.
This is it. I'm glad. That is exactly right. I love the way that they had a wee bit of a flavour of Scotland. COP26 opened with a rendition of traditional Scottish folk music. And world leaders were told that if significant progress wasn't made in climate change, there would be a lot more where that came from. Crystal, what do you think then? We've obviously got yourself, who has come to Scotland. You're maybe best positioned to answer this.
That's it.
These delegates, what's the one thing they should do while in Scotland?
Oh, I've got the perfect thing. Okay, every time any of my family or friends come to visit, I'm like, guys, while you're here, we've got to have a go at solving climate change. Honestly, it's the one thing. It's not a Scottish holiday without it. So.
In a recorded message, the Queen said, "The time for words has now moved to the time for action," before gluing herself to the hard shoulder of the M8. Yes, the COP26 climate conference getting underway is the correct answer. Billy and Val, you get 2 points for that. Now to you, Rory and Crystal, what was the other story we were after?
Is it that Nicola wasn't invited to have a seat at COP26?
Is exactly the right answer. Yes, while Nicola Sturgeon may not have an official seat at the negotiations for COP26, she has been meeting with many world leaders and eco-celebs, including David Attenborough and Greta Thunberg. Nicola Sturgeon has made her presence felt despite no seat at the COP26 table. She has spoken to many of the world leaders, mainly asking if they can sneak her in under their jacket.
It's like the UK is holding it here, to show that they're embracing Scotland, but then they don't invite the leader of Scotland. It would be like if your flatmates threw a big house party to say sorry for never tidying up, but then they made you do all the prep and decorations and then just made you stay in your room the whole time and then got really annoyed when you post selfies with your teddies and Greta Thunberg giving the finger. You know?
I think actually what she should have done was to go to, is it Tam Shepard's joke shop in Glasgow?
Yes.
And just got a Vladimir Putin outfit. Sneak in.
Brilliant. Who's this coming along the Clydeside on a horse? Billy, what do you think about this? Nicola Sturgeon not formally invited to COP26, no seat at the table. Should she have been there?
100%. It's like not getting invited to your twin's surprise birthday party. Sorry, we just lost yours in the post, man.
And they talk about this being an opportunity for the UK to show it's embracing Scotland. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think they expect it to be a failure so they can blame us.
Rory, Nicola Sturgeon hasn't formally been there at COP26, but she has been in and around making an impact. What do you think of the way she's been handling it?
Yeah, no, but I think she's done very well. I do, she had a conversation with Joe Biden. She said she had a brief conversation with Joe Biden. It was actually very brief. She said, "Would you like still or sparkling?"
Krista, what do you think about Nicola Sturgeon's role in this? She has been in there making an impact, although not formally invited. How do you think she's handling it?
I think it's great. I mean, she's being accused of putting herself in the spotlight too much. She's literally the leader of Scotland, you know? I think women are used to this, though, a little bit. It would be like, hey, did you hear about Joan of Arc? She, led the French troops to victory and then got burned at the stake. Can you say melodramatic?
Billy, how do you think she's been handling it?
Like a boss. She's getting all the gossip. It's like, in the toilets at a nightclub, it's where you get all the talk and all that. She's made loads of pals. You can just imagine at the end of the day, Boris Johnson is like, "Where are we going, guys?" And it's like, "Oh, sorry, we're away to Nicola's house with France and Germany. She's got wee tennis. We're going to have a great night." She's got it all planned out. "What are you doing, Boris?" "So I'm away for a wee greet." "Oh, never mind."
Val, we're talking about COP26, biggest event Scotland's ever held. What's the biggest event that you've been to?
Well, I was thinking about Saturday's game at Starks Park, but then I remembered I'd played Glastonbury.
Crystal, we're talking about COP26, perhaps the biggest event ever held in Scotland, but what's the biggest event that you've been to?
Oh, Des, I hate crowds. I avoid them at all costs, which is really lucky for me because my comedy has yet to attract one. But I did once go to Times Square for New Year's Eve, which ironically made me very reluctant to do anything to save the human race.
Rory Bremner, what is the biggest event that you've ever been to?
In the last 2 years, this.
And at the end of that round, the teams are on 2 points apiece. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, and this week we spoke to actress Joyce Faulkner and actor and musician Tom Ury. So, Rory and Crystal, what story do you think our Tom is on about here?
I'm of the opinion that it should be acoustic. I think that's the roots of it, that's where it comes from. It's getting a little bit live-aidy now. I used to frequently be found doing it on Perth High Street until I had enough money to buy 10 cigarettes and an Oliver's sandwich.
It's the busking thing, isn't it? Is it a Lib Dem MP? I was talking about the Lib Dems now. I mean, they're kind of... I think you can only get them on the red button, can't you? One of the... Is it an MSP who's come out against busking? He thinks it's all too loud, and it's all about Edinburgh, because if somebody comes towards you on the Royal Mile, you know, juggling 6 machetes... You know he's a street performer. In Glasgow, he might not even be in show business. You know, it's just, you know, live a little, you know, that's what it's about.
Well, that is absolutely correct. Well done, Rory. It is the news that buskers in Edinburgh may soon be asked to keep the noise down. Edinburgh City Council would like powers to turn volume down on amplified busking and street entertainment. And if buskers don't keep within noise limits, they could be asked to move on. Crystal, what do you think about this? What's your opinion on buskers?
Well, actually, you know, my mom and her sisters used to do busking quite a lot when I was a kid, and they used to have me join as a little girl because, like, when there's a little kid in the group, they would make, like, tons more money. So, as I say to my therapist these days, I'm against it.
Val, we're talking about buskers and the fact they may be turned down or asked to move on. What's your opinion of buskers?
Well, I have to declare an interest here. In my youth, I went to Paris with my pal and we had no money and I had a guitar. So that was what we did to feed ourselves and keep ourselves in red wine. I stood on the steps of the metro and sang. They didn't know what I was singing about, so they just threw me money to shut me up, you know.
I love that. That's great.
I have a confession like Val. In my youth, I did a bit of busking. I used to be a clown at kids' parties, right? Shut up. I used to be a clown at kids' parties, but the thing is, I used to be about 20 stone, right? Kids were terrified of me. I couldn't sing, I couldn't dance. I managed to sit in a unicycle once, but we lost it, right? Although every now and then, I'll break wind, I hear a bell ring, which is nice.
Crystal, what do you think about this? Obviously, you've had a bit of busking in your past, but let's evaluate this now. If you were to busk, what would you be doing?
Okay, nowadays, I think I'd do psychic readings. It would be so easy nowadays. You know, you'd just be like, oh, you or someone you love has lost money during the pandemic. You now have intense social anxiety. And you're thinking of getting a dog to curb your intense loneliness.
I'm paying for it. I'm there. Billy, what would you do if you had to busk now?
Well, here's the weird thing. Last year, my dad took unwell, and you spend a lot of time talking, kind of getting to know each other again. And I asked him out of curiosity, Dad, has there ever been any other performers in the family? I was always curious. And he went, let me think. Let me see. Oh, your granddad was an award-winning yodeler. And then looked at me like, is that the type of thing you were looking for? Yes! Well, how did I not know about this? So he came over from Ireland in the 50s and 60s. Apparently the yodelling scene here in Scotland was white hot. No outfit, just him with a little monkey. I had a wee monkey that lit cigarettes for him. He bought off a milkman. It was a different time.
Well done to our teams. We are, of course, referring to the proposals in plan that could be devastating for street entertainers, leaving them forced to choose between destitution or, worse, working for the silent disco walking tours. Now to you, Billy and Val. What do you think Joyce is talking about here?
It seems to go on for weeks before and after. I have been to organised ones, which I think are the way to go. My favourite one is simple and handheld, and I used to love writing my name with it.
Well, that took a turn.
Fireworks.
Fireworks is the right answer. Well done. Yes, of course, this is Bonfire Weekend and fireworks are back in the news. COVID-19 put a stop to most fireworks displays last year, and this year new laws are in place, meaning that it's illegal for the general public to set fireworks off before 6 p.m. and after 11 p.m. It is generally believed that fireworks originated in China, although the Chinese government have denied this, saying that the presence of a fireworks research centre in Wuhan is just a coincidence. What do you think about this then? Are you a fan of fireworks?
I love firework displays. We used to have a flat on Queen Street in Edinburgh, and we could actually see the castle from our bedroom, and we could just lie in bed and watch the fireworks at New Year, in fact, every night pretty much. But when I was wee, my dad dropped the lit taper accidentally into the box of fireworks, and we had an absolutely sensational display for about 30 seconds. The neighbours were running down the street in fear. So I think it's right. Organised ones are definitely the way to go.
I have to say the one that I did see that did not go well was where I grew up in Irvine in Ayrshire. 1 year, accidentally, all the fireworks went off at once. Oof. Literally, the best 3 seconds you've ever seen of your life. I mean, people were there going, look at this! And this is just the start! And then the mayor had to come on and go, well, that was a great night, everyone. Take care getting home.
Rory, what do you think about this then? Obviously, they're trying to bring these laws in for buying the fireworks, letting them off at certain times. Do you think, practically, the laws will work?
No, I think most people will get... Well, they'll be let off, won't they? What? It was a perfectly good pun. Can you imagine actually being banged up in the cell and you say to the guy next to you, what are you in for? You say, Catherine Wheel, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Crystal, what do you think? Obviously, with the best of intentions, these laws have been brought out. Do you think they'll actually work?
Well, I guess time will tell. But, like, to me, even though it seems like fireworks aren't something that everyone here's into, the ones who are into it are very into it. So it'll be hard to dissuade them. Like, I have Scottish in-laws, and I remember the first bonfire night I spent with them. They lit fireworks in the middle of their tiny back garden, and when their clothesline started melting, they just cheered louder.
Welcome to Scotland.
Thank you.
Yeah. But obviously we're talking about fireworks as a way to mark a celebration. If we can't have fireworks, what else can we do? Billy Kirkwood, throw an alternative in there to fireworks.
Better than fireworks, just watching a wee dog stretching, because I don't know about anybody else, but whenever I see a dog stretch, I always go, oh, big stretch. Oh, big stretch. Although don't do it with a grown-up, they don't like it. I did it to a guy in a building site once, he was having a yawn. Big stretch!
Well done for getting the right answer there. Yes, fireworks laws in Scotland is correct, and 2 points go to Billy and Val! You're tuned to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. This round is all about who's in the news. So I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So Billy and Val, you're up first this time. Who is this?
The first single is really different, and every time I release the first single from an album, I've been nervous about it because I'm like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go, and I like that feeling.
Ed Sheeran.
Why are you sighing at Ed Sheeran?
Just... no. I mean, no. We've all got that person that paints their house the one colour, including the doors and the radiator. And if that had a sound, it would be Ed Sheeran. All right? And he makes a lot of money, which I'm sick of, Des. I've got 4 figures in my bank account, and one of them's a minus. All right?
Ed Sheeran has topped Heat magazine's rich list for celebrities aged 30 and under. The singer-songwriter topped the list for the third year in a row, and according to the magazine, is now worth an estimated £236.5 million. Val, what's your take on Ed Sheeran? Do you think he deserves this continued success?
I don't think it's fair to blame him for his success. I mean, you just have to blame the people that buy his records. Really, truly. That's who I blame.
Yeah, let's turn it on you lot.
Yeah.
But I have to balance it out. Ed Sheeran is successful. A lot of people love his music and it means so much to people. So we have to say well done to him. Ed Sheeran is also best pals with Elton John. Elton John phones Ed Sheeran every morning. So here's my question. Which celebrity would you like to phone you every day? Val McDermott.
I would like Boris Johnson to phone me every day just so I could make his life an absolute misery.
What do you think about this then, Rory Bremner? Which celebrity would you like to be phoning you every day?
I could just talk to myself, couldn't I? Good morning, Rory. Today I'm going to tell you about a small monkey who met an unfortunate end.
Crystal, what do you think about this then? We've got Elton John phoning Ed Sheeran every day, but which celebrity would you like to phone you every day?
I'll go with Santa Claus. No one's more famous. No one does so much for so little. And whenever my two kids misbehave, I can just be like, I know what I'll be telling Santa tomorrow morning.
And there it is. Can't argue with that. Well done for identifying the speaking voice there of Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran has said that Elton John phones him every day, and every day he tells him, no, I haven't been involved in an accident that wasn't my fault. Right to you, Rory and Crystal, it's your turn. Who is this and why are they in the news?
I don't think I've got a Devon accent. I think I've just got a kind of nasal, annoying accent. I don't sound like a farmer. I think that would have held me back.
That's Josh Widdicombe, isn't it? I mean, it's great voice, isn't it? Because he's from Devon, all right, and it's equal parts authentic West Country and Zippy from Rainbow, isn't it?
Yes. Well done for getting the right answer. It is, of course, Josh Widdicombe. On a recent episode of Who Do You Think You Are, it was revealed that Josh Widdicombe is a descendant of King Edward I. And, of course, he isn't the only one, as both Danny Dyer and Alexander Armstrong have previously found themselves to be related to royalty after appearing on the show. So what do you think about old Josh, then? Are you surprised that he's related to royalty?
I think he's just grateful he's not related to Anne Widdicombe.
Imagine. So what do you think about this then, Crystal? We've got Josh Widdicombe there on Who Do You Think You Are. Are you surprised that he's related to royalty?
No, I mean, weren't there only like 1,200 people back then or something? World population. But all my family have done those DNA spit tests, you know? And it turns out we're like 70% Scottish. And I know how much Scottish people love it when Americans claim to be Scottish. So I fully expect my portrait to be in your national galleries by the time I'm 50.
Billy, what do you think about this then? I don't know if you work with Josh, but there we go. Another comedian, another performer related to royalty. Are you surprised Josh Widdicombe is related to royalty?
No! It's like any time he speaks, I feel like I want to go and clean cutlery.
What do you think about this then, Val? We've got Josh Widdicombe and Who Do You Think You Are? Are you surprised to find out that he's related to royalty?
Well, no, because it seems like everybody in England seems to be descended from royalty. On the Who Do You Think You Are programme, they check you out before they invite you on the show, so they do their own checks before they ask you to come, which is why I've never been on it, because I come from an unbroken line of Scottish peasants. And I reassure myself with what my dad always used to say. He used to say, we're all Jock Tamson's bairns, meaning we're all equal. Well, we're all Jock Tamson's bairns, except the ones that are Boris Johnson's.
But here's a question I've got for you. If you could go back and meet your ancestors, what time period would you go back to?
If I could go back in time, I'd like to go back to about 2 days ago when I lost the remote for this. That's as far as back as I'd like
That's all you need to do, yeah. Billy, final thoughts. If you could go back and meet your ancestors, Billy, what time period would you go back to?
I would love to go back to the medieval times just purely because you wouldn't need to worry about cold callers or Jehovah's Witnesses. You could just pull up your drawbridge and there's nothing they could do. I wouldn't need Facebook. I'd have a minstrel.
Well, there you go.
Anytime I feel like updating people what I had for dinner, a wee guy pulls out a guitar, then starts plucking away.
Do you know what? You get Ed Sheeran, he'd do that. Josh Widdicombe is the right answer, and 2 points goes to Rory and Crystal. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
United States.
That is Joe Biden there, auditioning for the role of Freddy Krueger in the latest Halloween film. So there we go, fingers on buzzers. 40% of Scottish dentists say they are ready to do what? Val.
Replace Jason Leach with an implant.
Poor Jason. 40% of Scottish dentists say they are ready to do what? Rory.
Work from home.
40% of Scottish dentists say they are ready to do what? Billy.
Let go of the past and move on. Let it go, guys. Let it go.
40% of Scottish dentists say they are ready to do what? Rory.
Go private.
Go private is the right answer. Well done, Rory Bremner.
United States.
Oh, perfect timing. That is our klaxon. Joe has Biden. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Rory Bremner and Crystal Evans. And commiserations to Val McDermott and Billy Kilquin. And we'll leave you with the breaking the news. Breaking news just in. A tiny bat made an unexpectedly big impact by winning an annual Bird of the Year competition in New Zealand. PR experts say it's just the sort of good press bats need to rebrand their image after a shaky couple of years. An Italian villa is expected to become the world's most expensive home when it goes up for auction next year. The villa boasts an original Caravaggio mural depicting the three gods, Jupiter, Neptune and Pluto. This was painted over his original idea of three dogs playing snooker. And the Loch Ness Monster was arrested at COP26 this week as Glasgow police seized an inflatable Nessie trying to infiltrate the climate summit. After being removed from the Clyde and taken out of the costume, police warned the Chancellor, for the last time, Nicola, you're no getting in.